What's going on, everybody? It's a Riverbug, and today tying up a jig, and I'm going to try to do this unedited so you guys can see everything from start to finish. I'm going to go in with some Sally Hansen's, just coat that shank a little bit, give it something to stick to, and for thread I'm using a Purple collar. It's a 6/0 wax thread. But we're just going to go ahead and wrap that around our jig head. Give it nice tight wraps. We go down to the shank of that hook. Like always, the same way we start off all our jigs. We'll go back up. For our tail material, I'm using a purple hackle feather that I've already cut down here, but alright, we got our hackle feather. I'm gonna go ahead and put that on now. I had to cut the video. I had a camera battery go dead on me. But we're gonna tie that feather in there and go back up to the top there. And I like my jigs to be just a hair shorter than most people. Some people, you know, they'll leave that tail a little bit longer. You can leave that longer to your preference, give or take a little bit if you want to. And for flash, I'm going to go ahead and add in a white. It's not really white, but it's a silver flash. I'm not going to put a whole lot. I'm only going to put a piece in there. I'll show you guys the material here. It's a polar flash. So I'm going to tie that in right here. I'll show you guys that. We'll go over it. Just kind of get it seated in there. We'll go over it again. And then I like to take this piece and then fold it down, and we'll wrap that on like this, like that, and then we'll take and clip that right about the length of our feather. And then I like to take what we just tied in, and then I'll tie that in. So one little strand of that can get you quite a bit of flash, especially when you're tying a small jig like this. In the it's just a 1/32 ounce jig head's what I've got here, and this is going to be more like a smaller panfish jig, bluegill crappie on the finicky days. Going into summer, I like to use a smaller jig than what you'd use when they're in the fall or winter. And once you got your feather and flash tied on there, again, I like to go with Sally Hansen's Hard as Nails. We'll just put that in there. That just helps everything get locked in and seated. And for the body material, I'm using a New Age Chanel from Nimrod Tackle, and it is a purple beaver color. Show you guys that real quick, what it looks like. It's got some purple specks in it. It's hard to see on the camera up close, but it's sort of like a tannish brown color, and it should fit in real nice with that jig head. That jig head's purple and blue flake, so it should fit in real nice with that jig head. And I fish a lot of muddy waters, so if you fish muddy waters, creeks, muddy lakes, after it rains, things like that, this had to do pretty good. So we'll wrap that Chanel in real nice and tight. Nice tight wraps. Make sure you get all your tail material and flash out of your body wraps when you wrap it. and keep that nice and tight. I'm about done with this jig, just a couple more wraps. Go up and one more. There it is. So when we get to our last wrap, we'll go under that chenille. I like to go under twice, and then I'll go over the head again once or twice, and then I'll go under the chenille again and over the head, and then I'll clip it. Now all that's left to do with our jig, guys, is the whip finish. So you'll take that, get your triangle, flip it, then go over, and I like to do it about 6 times. So 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then we'll pull it. And before you cut your thread, pull that thread tight. Make sure it's tight, guys. You can see how tight I'm pulling that. That's what holds your jig together. And then you can either do a couple things here now that you got your jig together. You can either, one, hit the head with a little bit of glue, or again, Sally Hansen's or UV resin if you're using UV resin, but I just prefer, I've tied hundreds of jigs with the Sally Hansen's hard as nails, so I just like to seep that in, and plus you get that little extra coating on your jig head to help painting things. And there you have it, a jig that's going to work really well in muddy waters, dark waters. That purple tail with that silver flash will stand out, and it should help you catch lots and lots of fish. And I hope you guys enjoyed this little jig. Tie it up, fish it, let me know what you guys think. And as always, if you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Again, sorry for the weird little cut there. My battery ended up going dead, and I had to replace that. I wasn't paying attention to my camera battery, but there you have it, right there. It's a very simple crappie jig, panfish jig, bluegill brim, whatever you want to call them, and it's definitely will help you catch some more fish. But anyways, without further ado, like I always say, if the water's wet, it's a good time to go fishing. See you guys.